wanted to take a similar step. Do you think that this controversy about relocation of departments and agencies from Abuja to Lagos is a storm in a teacup?
Thank you very much. Ruben, in my opinion, this is part of the tactics by the government to divert attention from the real governance issues in Nigeria. Nigeria is facing huge challenges of unemployment, inflation, poverty, and complete hopelessness in the society. The hunger is catching people. So government needed to do something dramatic that can divert attention from focusing on those issues. And of course, the insecurity that has rampaged everywhere. So instead of really facing governance, government needed to get, attention to be shifted from thinking and putting pressure to walk the talk. So that is one of the tactics that I think, in my opinion, brought about this whole issue. Otherwise, if you are talking about this relocation, if there is no mistrust in the elite, whether from the north or from the south, I don't think this issue should be, an issue that will consume the nation energy. But because there has been this mistrust, anything you are doing in Nigeria, sadly, the same political elite are the one that will fuel this in. This could also be the same thing if perhaps a northern president who has been suspected to do this, they would have also been the same response probably from the south. But I just want to also point out an error that people are making. I don't think Abuja belongs to North. If you look at the ownership of the land properties, the landed properties in this Abuja, is owned by another ethnic groups from the south, as they also rightly mentioned. You remember during Oputa, where a particular ethnic group said that they actually owned almost 70% of the landed properties. Secondly, if you are talking about federal civil servants, according to the Bureau of Public Service Reforms, the South is more in terms of the number of people that are employed at federal level. So what I see, even Nasarawa, Niger, Plateau, Benue, Kogi, and Kwara did not have or cannot even compete with some of the states that have a large number of civil servants in Abuja. Now, what I see many northerners, you find them in the north, are people who are actually disadvantaged northerners roaming around on the street, begging and what have you. Those are the population that you see, and the original inhabitants of Abuja that have been ambushed, that have been pushed away by the system. So I don't even know where this cry is all about this north thing, because the Abuja itself is not even owned by the northerners, even though it's surrounded by a northern state, But the political insincerity in the country has brought about this unnecessary suspicion. So instead of us to face the insecurity that is worrying the country, the poverty that is worrying the country, the inflation that is worrying the country, and other bases that you have in the country, now we are debating about movement of some agencies of government. The third issue I want to say that no matter how much President Tinubu wants to move these agencies, it is impossible for him to move Abuja out to Lagos because constitutionally, legally, there will have been challenge. So I don't really see that. What I will also expect Nigerians to focus on, and of course, this agitation is not by the northerners, because some people feel that going back to Lagos, they are not secured, they are not protected, just like you've seen what is going on with some ethnic nationalities in Lagos, where they are actually being allegedly attacked. So some of them, they feel relieved that they are actually, they remain in Abuja, where they feel like they are not in any way going to be controlled by anybody, or anybody will claim ownership of the place. So I think we need to redirect this debate to the real issue of governance failure that we are suffering from. Since the inception of this administration, the amount of loan that we have borrowed and allegedly squandered is scandalous, that you borrow money to deal with the poverty and insecurity, and this, you cannot find any solution to this, or you cannot see commensurable achievement on this. So I don't want people to be, deviating from the core issue that worries Nigerians. The people in the north or in the south, they go to the same market. they are suffering. All of the people in Nigeria are going, through difficulties and challenges. The insecurity is almost everywhere in the country. So it's not prerogative of one particular zone that has, of course, the predominant of the poverty is largely in the north, but you also have so many people who have been deprived, because of corruption and because of bad governance in the south. So I think we should come back to the real issue and stop wasting our energy, diverting, our attention from the main core issue that we can hold government to account and that we should get our government to work. Government must rise up to the challenges that are facing Nigerians rather than just this probably divide and rule so that they can continue to do what they are doing.
Okay, I get your point about governance. I get your point about trust. But let's look at the specific explanations that have been given. In the case of the CBN, it is said that, look, most of the banks are in Lagos anyway. The headquarters are in Lagos. And that the policy strategy departments can be in Abuja, where they report directly to the CBN governor. But those departments dealing with financial regulation, dealing with risk, dealing with market supervision, are better in Lagos. And that was why I cited the intervention of Emir Lamido Sanusi. Now, as for FAAN, the explanation that has been offered is that, look, when the FAAN was taken to Abuja from Lagos, up to today, the FAAN has no building, it has no office space in Abuja, and that the former headquarters in Lagos has been wasting away. And that for purposes of efficiency, blocking wastages, it's better to return FAAN headquarters to Lagos so as to save money. I thought that the explanations were straightforward enough. So how do we jump from that explanation about efficiency to an attempt to return to Lagos as a capital of Nigeria?
Yeah, that is why I said, because of the mistrust created by political elite in Nigeria, any good things or anything that, government will do, it will come with this kind of unnecessary suspicion. And I think, also, it is important to note that, ideally, if we are actually working for one Nigeria and we believe in Nigeria unity, we shouldn't be worried about this, unless there's, a motive behind all this, in which I said, for example, Tinubu did not say, I am moving the Central Bank of Nigeria headquarters to Lagos. They talk about some department. And in that case, it's understandable if those who are responsible for monitoring those banks and carrying out other duties are largely based in Lagos. It makes economic sense and it makes productivity and efficiency to have people who have that expertise in that location. I don't have a problem with that. With regard to the movement of the PAN, I think, also, I didn't really see that one. I did not think that is also one major problem, because what people are just arguing is that maybe because the Buhari administration has moved it to Abuja, so Tinubu administration must unwind everything. That is what some people are talking about. But I don't think if we are talking about Nigeria and if we really bother about governance, I don't think those things should really be a major issue that should detract us from facing the real issues, real challenges in Nigeria. If they move to Lagos, what are we going to lose? Is there anything fundamentally that we are going to lose? As far as I'm concerned, North will not lose anything. In any case, if that is what you are even talking, Kano was the first commercial airport in Nigeria. So if that is what you are even talking, so maybe people from Kano, they will say, okay, since we are the first, commercial, airport in Nigeria, then it should go there. But I don't think that is the issue. The issue is that let's make sure that all the agencies that, are situated should have symbolic presence in the federal capital, that is Abuja. Departments that their services are more needed outside Abuja, they can go there. I don't think there's any issue. I don't know why we are actually overplugging and, politicizing this. And I think the challenge is that the communication management in the Tinubu administration need to also improve. You don't just abuse or dismiss people when they raise legitimate worries and concern, given the suspicion and the mistrust that is surrounding with the politics in this country. I think it is important to allow people to make their legitimate observation, and government should also respond positively so that we know we are working toward ensuring that whatever government policy is accepted by Nigerians, not that you dismiss them or call them names. I don't think it is a good approach because some people, they may say it based on their own personal either suspicion or experience on how things are going. But all I know, it is going to be extremely difficult for the president to say, I am moving Abuja as federal capital territory to Lagos, back to Lagos. I don't think the president would contemplate doing that. But if there are departments and agencies within government that their services is more of benefit to the nation outside Lagos, not necessarily Lagos, there are other places where you have also federal, headquarters of agencies. So why are we making all this? Is it because some people believe that Tinubu has legalized the government with all the Lagos people, not even people from the Southwest, because some of the people from the Southwest are also complaining that Tinubu has actually overpopulated his cabinet with the Lagos people rather than the people from the Southwest. So those insinuations, you cannot take away those insinuations from people. But I think the honesty and sincerity of government is what make difference. I think if we are working for one Nigeria, if we are looking for efficiency, productivity, we should not engage in anything that will amount to waste, duplication, and completely hopeless, waste of public resources.
Except that most of those people that are referred to as Lagos boys, most of them are people from the hinterland who have no, original connection with Lagos. These are locals from some of these, areas in the hinterland. Anyway. But once you live in and work in Lagos, you become, I guess, a Lagos boy. But is there a role for the National Assembly in all of this? The controversy about relocation, and also the concern about kidnapping, banditry. Now, newspapers are writing that kidnappers are putting the entire security apparatus in Nigeria to shame.
Okay, to conclude on this issue, the National Assembly has a responsibility to ensure that the country is balanced, is united, is also, help in terms of productivity, and also making sure that everyone feels safe and feel, a sense of ownership. National Assembly has that responsibility to ensure that is also done. Now, moving to the issues of banditry, Ruben, this is a very lively matter because if government is willing to deal with this, I don't see how many bandits do you have in this country. How many bandits do you have that you cannot actually find where they are? Today, if you have a car and you have a tracker, you can be able to know where, if anybody, stole your car, you will be able to know where that car is, the location. These bandits, they are trading, asking people to send money through an account, not even cash. And yet you cannot, even if you don't have the facilities and the equipment to track them, which I believe if there's a willingness, if there's a political will to do that, you can actually do that. Even MTN, all these communication companies, they can actually navigate where this. In fact, there are some cell phone that if you call me, Ruben, it will tell me the location you are. So if we are serious about dealing with banditry and the bandits, in terms of identifying where they are and dealing with this and prevent, this kind of torturing they are putting Nigerians, I think it is possible to do that. But the problem is that political elite in Nigeria, as usual, they have no interest of keeping this country secured and safe because they have a rented protection. The governors, the deputy governors, some of the members of the National Assembly, and some of the ministers, or rather some of the political appointees, they all move with the police. So they have rented protection. After their tenure, they will come back to square one. So rather than putting together to ensure that the country is safe and protected, they will rather just concern for regime protection. Now, when you are doing regime protection, you are not going to solve problems. Secondly, look at what are the underlying issues that is producing this bandit. Let me tell you, Ruben, we are deceiving ourselves. Even on the street of Abuja, you are already grooming bandits. You see kids of 5 years, 7 years, leaving his parents, roaming around on the streets in Lagos, in Kano, in Abuja, in Patako, everywhere, day and night. No parental care, nobody, government is, of course, government, it doesn't care about anybody. Otherwise, if it was before, government would have moved to make sure that those children are safe and protected and taken out of the street so that bandits will not recruit them, Boko Haram will not recruit them, criminals will not recruit them. We are wasting our time. We are living on a time bomb because these boys that you abandon, because you have cornered all the public resources, you have stolen so much that you don't care. It is you and their children will be using the money to take drugs. So when you die, they will be taking drugs, and that is the reward of you stealing public funds. I am saying that if you have opportunity to help fix these children and to also regulate how parents actually send out their kids, you have that responsibility. I don't see local government chairmen in Nigeria doing that. I don't see governors doing that. And of course, this is supposed to be a state and local government responsibility. But they abandoned that. Now we are complaining about bandits, we are complaining about criminals. When you know that you are living with this, you are grooming them. Nobody is showing them love. Nobody is showing them care. Nobody is taking them to school. And then you expect them to be responsible, to be reasonable.